Hello, VIPKID teachers. I'm teacher Kristi. I wanted to share with you my 5 tips for increasing student output. Now my first tip is very simple. Listen. You may feel the need to fill the silence each time a student may struggle, but it's really important to listen and to give the student a chance to think in their head what they're going to say, because sometimes they know the answer, but they just need a minute to think about it. So I pause, I listen. Don't be too afraid of silence. We're so used to 1 minute per slide, 1 minute per slide, but you still need to give them a chance to speak on their own. My second tip is to circle. This may seem simple, but if you're first starting out, circle or bracket what you want them to read, the little section you want them to read, so that way you're not interrupting too much for pronunciation, help. So circle or bracket. Can you read this? And then listen. You want them talking more than you're talking. It's actually a little bit difficult in the beginning. It was for me, and then it becomes easier and easier to let them do the talking. You get real thirsty. Okay, and then my third tip, is to give them choices. If they're struggling, go ahead and give them options. Sometimes I will type, for my older students, I'll type in the chat box. I'll give them options. So choosing whether an equation is multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. I'll type it and give them, and I say, look, you choose. So that they're trying on their own. I'm not just feeding them the answers. Also, the younger students, I would give them an option. Apple, ball. And then my next little tip is to take turns. Now, some of the slides in the teacher directions, it already tells you to take turns, asking and answering questions. But sometimes, if I see that maybe an older student is a little bit bored, I'm going to go ahead and let them take turns on, maybe for playing tic-tac-toe with the words. I'm going to give them a chance to circle and I'll say, and then vice versa. Just switch it up a little bit. And my last, come here, bud. He wants to teach. My last tip, my 5th tip, is to give scenarios. If I'm asking a question and the student looks a little stumped or puzzled, I'm going to give them a scenario. For example, I may ask, if I'm asking, what time do you, or actually this, if I'm asking, when is the time that you did something bad or someone did something bad to you? A lot of my students pause on that. They're like, what? Okay, so I give them a choice, a little scenario. I say, have you ever been hurt? Have you ever played, baseball, usually soccer, but they call it football. Have you ever played football when you were supposed to do homework, or something in a shortened version? Give a scenario. So those are my 5 tips. They're simple, but I use them all the time. The more I'm with VIPKID, the more I shut myself up so that the student output can increase. So let me know below what you do so that you don't talk too much, because it is hard sometimes. You don't want the students struggling. Happy teaching. Can you say happy teaching?
Happy teaching.